So literally just my past like 2 days of Dota have been fucking shitty.
That sounds pretty bad.
It is, yeah.
Alright, so if you can't tell by the voice, I got Donger with me here today. Donger, other than your bad Dota, how's life going?
Uh, I got exams coming up, so got that study life going.
Alright. That's pretty close to the start of the school year though. That kind of sucks. Is it midterms or something?
Yeah, my school does quarters, so we have uh midterms and exams sooner than I guess most people, which kind of sucks.
Makes so you have to actually try and can't play Dota all the time.
Yeah, that is true.
Alright, so enough of that stuff. Let's talk about Dota. Um, so we got a new patch last Thursday, as you may or may not know. Probably know. I
Yeah.
think you said you played Dota
Yeah.
recently. What's your take on the new patch? And do you think there's going to be any major changes to the RD2L meta?
I think some of the meta heroes, like Lycan, did not get nerfed hard enough, or Tinker. They're still pretty cancer. I got raffle stomped by a jungle Lycan with going straight Helm as a Clinks, and that was one of my terrible games that I had a few days ago. But I was just still amazed at how much damage and just presence that hero has just sitting in jungle. So I think overall, I know they're trying to do like smaller patches. I think if they want to do that, they might want to go a little bit more like have like a patch that wants to change something and then have like the next week devoted to maybe scaling that back or improving it. Because I mean, I kind of get what they're doing is more incremental change, but it's kind of like a slap in the face when there's these like heroes that are pretty ridiculous even at like 5K plus just stomping games. Um, but as for RD12, I don't know. I've just started, I guess, playing with the higher end of at least Eastern Sunday, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like it'll change too much, other than maybe less Lycan picks, which I'm always happy with.
Hmm. Are there any heroes that you think should have gotten nerfed that didn't get touched?
Um, I want to say like I've been spamming OD like a shit ton, so he's like my hero. I think he should have gotten nerfed a bit more, even though I don't want him to, but he's pretty ridiculous right now. Granted, you did get the mobility nerf, but then I think the other big one would be like Razor. Oh my god, that hero is like you don't even at least with the stuff I've been experimenting with, you just don't even max plasma field at least till later on, and you just do so much damage. You can easily solo lane with that hero. So I just kind of wish he got a bit of a nerf.
Razor and Lycan definitely being picked a lot, even with the patch, as well as Tiny.
Yeah. Oh, Tiny's another one that has been a little bit insane. I haven't experienced it too much, but I've had one or two games where I've been like, that hero is ridiculous, even in offlane.
Okay. So your RD2L team consists of you, Nifum, Teriyaki Boy, or also known as Keynote, your mom's fave Dota player, which is also known as Nil, and Ziffer, and I believe one more. That's
Yeah, he
Doge.
just like I don't know what happened. He just disappeared from our team,
All
so
right.
I have no clue.
So you don't have a backup, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question about Nifum. He's kind of known around the league as kind of a tilting player. How do you keep
Oh boy.
your mid from tilting?
Um, last season it was I don't know if he just wasn't tilting as much. But it just seemed like if we'd had a good draft, he would be fine. This season we've had some pretty big problems with that. I don't know if you noticed, but I know you one of your things was, do we draft his heroes to keep him from tilting?
Mhm.
I'd say I don't want to like bash him too much, but he just has lost a lot of the willpower to play Dota, I guess, to the point where he wanted to pick SF into a Puck Spirit Breaker lane. I was at that point we are all just like, oh lordy Jesus, our mid players like going fucking haywire. And then he wanted to play safe lane for us. So I started playing mid for a bit. I don't know. It's right now we're trying to deal with it, but we've had some pretty bad uh conflicts between Zypher and him and Nifm. So it's kind of a problem for us right now.
I got to look at your week 1 games. He went 15-1 in game 1, which is really good, but only went
Yeah.
2-9 in the second game as SF. So I'm guessing that was the game you were talking about.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, like, not to bash on it, but like, we're all trying to keep it positive, and then he's just sort of, being a little too negative, which is weird because last season it was only towards the end. I don't know, but he just something's like awoken in him.
Nifum has awoken. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm guessing most of the time then you pick his heroes because he wants to play those SFs or other heroes that just don't make sense.
Well, I mean, I don't. I think that he was just tilted before the game because he does not want to play SF, ironically. But like, was it game 2? I think versus Meliaflox or versus Vinyl's team.
Yes.
He wanted to pick Wind Ranger, and he destroyed. He did so super well that game. And we all just sort of like gelled. We gave Nifim what he wanted, but then we just sort of like, once his hero was picked, we sort of not sidelined, but definitely reduced his influence in the draft, and we were able to focus better overall. So I think as long as he's actually like in the right mind, we'll let him draft his own heroes because he's obviously a really good player, and we want him to play his comfortable heroes as shown. What when he does get what he wants, he does really well.
Okay. And you did speak about Ziffer a little bit there. He's one of the highest MMR support players in EST Sunday. What do you think differentiates him from other lower MMR support players in EST Sunday?
He is a hero. He is a support player that he's obviously he's a very greedy support in the sense that he loves to farm on heroes like Shadow Demon or Shadow Shaman. I think there was one game where I don't know if it was a scrim or an official. I think it was a scrim. He got Ag's refresher shard on Shadow Shaman and backdoored the enemy base. Like he is a really good farmer on heroes. And that was something that he was talking about he would have trouble with on our team because me and Nifim are definitely more farm heavy. We like to also maybe have a little bit of babysitting going on in the lane, or at least Nifim does. And so that was definitely something that I think one of his strengths. So is just getting a ton of farm early on a hero like Shadow Demon, who just can pop out like I think 700 magic damage at like level 4 or 5. So he definitely he's got really good warding sense, vision sense, smoke set like when to smoke. He's pretty good shot caller. Um, and overall, I think he's just very much he knows how to play his heroes, which I think is something that like kind of differentiates those like mid 4 or low 4K and above when people find a hero they really like and they can just optimize it super well.
So it sounds like Ziffer can kind of take a little bit of a leader role when it comes to supporting, which kind of
Yeah.
relates to how vocal are you as a captain? Who is doing the most communication when in the middle of a game, and who is calling all the shots?
I would love to say that I'm a very vocal and like perfect leader, but I'm probably far from that. And honestly, I think that's kind of why we've had these small feuds between teammates or between Nifim and Zypher. So overall, I think it's pretty much like open in terms of who wants to talk. Nil and Keynote are usually a little bit more quiet, just because offlaner and then support, and usually Zypher and Nil are chatting. But overall, I think we decided last season, at least between me and Nifim, that the person who is clearly the more farmed core should, or if unless we pre-designated somebody, will be making the decisions because they're going to be the ones who are sort of the crux for winning a team fight or winning the game overall. Um, I think in a scrim we had some problems with communication where we had a bad call and then somebody else made a consecutively bad call and it just led to essentially throwing the game. So I think right now it's sort of mixed. Usually anybody can say anything, but we might end up just like following one person, I guess. I don't know. Something like that.
So you have two players on the quiet side, which kind of brings up the question, do you prefer quiet players that are reliable, or do you want a player that communicates but is less skilled?
I would say if I was like a support captain, I would definitely want potentially I guess no, because I mean Nifim on our last team we had Moda, who was quiet Started out, I guess, not very well skilled, but I guess initially it seemed like that. But as the season progressed, we could tell him to do something, and he would be like, "Yeah, I'm doing it," and he would either do it or get very close to doing it. So it was very I do appreciate people who are willing to listen and then follow through with that. Um, so as long as they're not like interrupting anything, but players, I guess that are quiet, I think is completely fine. Last season, um, our our best support was kind of more quiet until the later end, but he was super skilled. So I wasn't, or I always knew that like he may have not been saying much, but he knew what was going on with the game, and I could count on him to do whatever he needed to do.
All right. So you got Ziffer coming up next week. Any thoughts about that match?
Oh, the other Zephyr captain. I've played with him actually quite a bit now. He's pretty good. I haven't checked exactly who's on his team. But I think if we get our drafting down, we won't allow like a 1-1. Probably not an 0-2 because I think we are still one of the better teams. And I mean, I don't know right now if Nifham's playing for this next game. But I think if he is, we still have a good chance of going 2-0. And then if not, I think still a good chance of going 2-0. We're at least me, Zypher, Kino, and Nil are gelling really well, and it's just up to Nifham to um, remain more consistent.
All right, awesome. So that's going to conclude the interview portion of this. Now on to the fun, who cares portion. Dota Buff quiz, 1 through 5 questions, just off of random stats in Dota Buff, maybe sometimes team questions.
Oh boy.
Points don't matter. It's whatever. We're just gonna see if you know your Dota skill or Dota stats. We'll say. All right.
Oh
So
god.
question number 1. This you might be able to guess this. How many matches of Dota have you played?
Oh, I think it's something like through 3,500. I think. Yeah.
3,816 to be exact.
Oh god.
I mean, that's 300 off. That's close enough.
It's not. It's not bad. Yeah.
300 matches of Dota. That's what, like 300 hours, or probably something a little bit less
Something
than
like
that.
that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Um.
Not too bad.
So, speaking of matches, what is your most used item slash how Dota Buff counts it is if you ended the game with the item. Hint, it's not TP scroll like it is for everybody else.
I want to say no, no. I don't use Blink Dagger. I mean, I use it a lot, but not enough to warrant it. I want to say, um, Ags or Hurricane Pike.
It is Power Treads.
Oh, that would explain. And I do play a shit ton of core, so that
It
would probably why.
it's definitely a little bit more of an item that you get like constantly, but
Yeah.
usually you finish the game, I guess, if you finish the game with the boot type you buy if it's quick enough.
Yeah.
Alright, so next question. What's the most kills you have gotten in a game, and what hero did you do it on?
Fuck. I want to say it was on Ember Spirit with like 25 plus.
Okay, so that's way off. But to
Oh,
be fair, this was like 4 years ago.
oh god.
So it's
Back in
41
the day.
kills with Sniper.
Oh, I think I remember that match. Yeah, I got fucking Basher, didn't I? I think I had an Abyssal
Maybe.
Blade
I
on it.
didn't actually check your items, but I just found it funny that this happened 4 years ago. Probably when you were a lot lower skilled.
Oh yeah, I remember that match now. Brings back the days.
The old days of Dota.
I used to go fucking Manta style SNY on Terrorblade and go mid with him.
Was Terrorblade even out in
Interesting.
2014?
Yeah, I think so. I just remember
Oh
playing. He was
god.
one of the first heroes I played.
I can't remember my Dota timeline. Alright. On to question 4. Counting for all your games recorded on Dota Buff, of course. What is your current average for last hits at 10 minutes?
Ooh, I think it's like 50 or 60 maybe.
49.09. So I'll give you that one because, like, 0.09 doesn't matter. You're one off,
Not bad.
which is pretty
It's like
surprising because that includes support games as well.
Oh boy.
All right. Last question. This is off your Steam account. How many hours of Dota have you played overall?
I don't think it's at 4,900 yet, but I know I still have more hours than MMR right now. I want to say like 4,850, something like that.
It's 49,000, or no, 4,937.
Oh wow, it was.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't.
37
Holy
hours
shit,
above.
I'm almost 5K. Feels good, man.
Yeah, it feels bad when your MMR is lower than your hours played.
That is a big feels bad.
I'm in the same boat. Don't worry about it. All right. Thanks so much, Donger, for coming on, doing the interview. Anything last you want to say? Any last words?
Um, square root of 3 is irrational by contradiction.
I
Dab.
You got some steps behind that?
Oh, fuck. I took number theory a bit ago, but like all I know is you gotta do like you have two integers where you have a ratio between two integers, and if you do some math like magic, you find that like it's not the simplest form. Like you can never get to a simplest form. Basically, they're both either A or B is even, so you never have two odd numbers in the ratio, which means you cannot. It's irrational, something like that.
Yeah.
That was
I
a
mean,
while
that's
ago.
close enough. I remember doing it in a discrete math class, and I could barely remember how to do it. So, probably did
Uh,
better than I could.
some good old proofs.
Yeah,
Very,
a lot of
very,
fun.
very fun.
Thanks so much for coming on. See you around, I guess.
All right, see you.